In a concrete gray prison outside St. Louis, hope was hard to come by. For most men serving sentences at Riverbend Correctional Facility, each day felt like a repeat of the last. Regrets, routines, and the unspoken belief that life's best chances had slipped away. But beneath the surface, dreams still flickered, and some inmates longed for a way to prove they were more than the sum of their mistakes. It was in this setting that a new project began. The prison warden, inspired by a growing national conversation about reform, reached out to Snoop Dogg, who had spoken openly about second chances and redemption. Snoop, with his own history of transformation, immediately saw the power in the idea. Snoop's foundation funded the launch of the Pathways Forward initiative, a program offering college-level classes, literacy tutoring, and creative writing workshops for inmates. The news spread quickly. Some men doubted it would last. Others signed up out of curiosity. But a core group felt real hope for the first time in years. Jamal Davis, 28, was among the first to enroll. A decade earlier, he'd dropped out of high school and made choices he regretted every day. But the thought of finishing his education, of reading the books he'd never opened as a kid, lit a fire inside him. Classes met in the old chapel, with local college professors and volunteers from Snoop's network. Each man received a journal, a textbook, and the message, "Your past does not define your future." The room was quiet on the first day, but as lessons continued, confidence grew. In creative writing, men who'd barely spoken aloud began to share poems about childhood, about loss, about longing for forgiveness. Jamal found his voice, writing letters to his daughter, explaining his mistakes, and promising to become someone she could be proud of. Snoop Dogg visited the facility via video link, his encouragement direct and personal. "Y'all got the power to change your story. Nobody can take that from you but yourself." The men cheered, some wiping away tears, feeling seen for the first time in a long while. The impact was immediate. Fights decreased, friendships formed, and men who once avoided each other now studied together late into the night. The library, once dusty and ignored, buzzed with activity. Staff noticed the shift. Guards became mentors, offering advice and even participating in book clubs. Teachers shared success stories with Snoop's foundation, who posted updates online, spreading hope beyond the prison walls. Jamal earned his GED within 6 months. His first graduation in cap and gown was live-streamed for his family and others in the community. For the first time, his mother cried tears of pride, not fear. Word of the project spread to other prisons and advocates across the country. Requests poured in for Snoop's foundation to expand Pathways Forward to more facilities. What started as a small classroom experiment was turning into a movement, and it was only the beginning. As the Pathways Forward program grew, so did the sense of purpose among its students. Men who had once written themselves off began to set goals: college, skilled trades, even starting businesses after release. The curriculum expanded, with new courses in computer skills, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. Jamal became a peer mentor, helping new students navigate the coursework and encouraging them through setbacks. He saw himself in every hesitant, skeptical face and made it his mission to make others feel welcome. Guest speakers visited regularly, including formerly incarcerated men who'd built successful lives after prison. Their stories resonated, offering proof that change was possible and that education was the key to freedom, inside and out. Snoop Dogg continued his involvement, recording messages and visiting when his schedule allowed. He talked openly about mistakes and redemption, urging the men to keep pushing. "The world wants to see who you are now, not who you used to be," he said. The program started a literary magazine, featuring poetry, essays, and art by inmates. Families on the outside read the magazine with pride, sharing it at church, in schools, and online. A sense of dignity returned to men who had long felt invisible. One of the most powerful changes was the impact on family relationships. Jamal's letters to his daughter were now filled with hope and promises kept. Other men shared similar stories: wives who started visiting again, children who looked up to their fathers, mothers who could finally sleep at night. Staff tracked outcomes. Disciplinary incidents dropped by half, and more men sought out counseling, job training, and therapy. The prison's reputation changed, too. Local businesses expressed interest in hiring program graduates, and colleges offered to partner for more advanced coursework. Snoop's foundation funded scholarships for those released, and mentors helped navigate the challenges of re-entry, finding work, reconnecting with family, and avoiding old pitfalls. Jamal was released after 2 years, determined to make the most of his second chance. He landed a job as an apprentice electrician and started taking night classes at a community college. He returned to Riverbend regularly as a guest speaker, inspiring men still inside with his journey. The Pathways Forward movement grew, with new chapters launching in other states. Advocates and lawmakers visited, moved by the transformation and eager to replicate the results. For Jamal and the men of Riverbend, the program was more than just school. It was a lifeline, a chance to rewrite their story, and proof that redemption is always possible. As Pathways Forward reached its second anniversary, the numbers told a powerful story. Recidivism rates among program graduates dropped sharply. More than half found stable jobs or enrolled in college within a year of release. Even families torn apart by incarceration began to rebuild trust. Jamal's life was proof of what could be achieved. He worked full-time, paid child support, and rented a small apartment close to his daughter's school. On weekends, he volunteered with Snoop's foundation, mentoring youth at risk of falling into the same traps he once did. Media outlets covered the success, interviewing graduates and their families. Jamal appeared on local radio, sharing his journey and urging listeners to support prison education. "Nobody's perfect," he said, "but everyone deserves a chance to be better." The magazine produced by the inmates won a state award for community impact. Poems written in prison were recited at city events, and one graduate's essay was published in a national newspaper. The stigma of incarceration slowly gave way to a sense of pride in how far the men had come. Snoop Dogg increased his involvement, bringing musicians and artists to teach workshops and perform at the facility. Music, art, and education became intertwined, providing new tools for healing and expression. Families gathered for quarterly family days, where children could see their fathers not as inmates, but as students, writers, and men striving for better. These moments of connection became the foundation for stronger futures. The local college built a partnership, creating a pathway for credits earned in prison to count toward degrees on the outside. Professors and students collaborated on service projects, building a bridge between the prison and the community. Jamal started a podcast, Voices Forward, interviewing formerly incarcerated people and advocates for reform. The show quickly gained listeners, sparking conversations about justice and redemption nationwide. Advocates used the success of Pathways Forward to push for policy change. Lawmakers toured Riverbend, reading poetry, meeting graduates, and rethinking how prisons could become places of transformation rather than punishment. Snoop's continued visibility gave the movement credibility and reach. He spoke at national conferences, urging others in the entertainment industry to get involved. "This is real impact," he told audiences. "Redemption is power. Education is freedom." And for every graduate who walked out of Riverbend, diploma in hand, a new chapter began. Not just for them, but for everyone who believed change was possible. Years later, the Pathways Forward program had expanded across the country. Thousands of men and women benefited from classes, workshops, and the chance to believe in a better future. Jamal, now a college graduate and father of 2, served as the program's director for the Midwest. He never forgot where he started. Every graduation he attended, every poem he heard, reminded him of the night he first picked up a book in that prison chapel and dared to hope. The impact went beyond numbers. Former inmates became community leaders, teachers, business owners, and advocates for reform. Many worked to change laws, expand access to education in prisons, and fight the stigma of incarceration. Snoop Dogg remained a passionate supporter, funding scholarships and appearing at events, always reminding people, "You're not your mistakes, you're your comeback." His authenticity inspired a new generation to see the humanity in everyone. Jamal's podcast grew into a national platform. He interviewed governors, artists, and young men just starting their journeys. The message never changed. Redemption is possible, but it starts with opportunity. The Martin Luther King Community Center, once just a local resource, partnered with Pathways Forward to offer job placement, family support, and re-entry programs for returning citizens. Jamal's daughter, now a teenager, sometimes introduced him at events. "My dad taught me that falling down isn't the end," she'd say. "Getting up and helping others, that's what matters." Graduates of the program came back to Riverbend as guest teachers, running workshops and mentoring new students. The walls of the prison, once cold and unwelcoming, now displayed murals of hope, poems of transformation, and photos of families reunited. The story of Pathways Forward became a beacon, a testament to what's possible when society invests in redemption instead of only punishment. And as Jamal walked out of another graduation ceremony, shaking hands with the next wave of students, he smiled, knowing the legacy was bigger than any one person. It was a movement, a promise, and a reminder that the power to change, individually and collectively, can light even the darkest places